So a group of black people, they decided to create a kingdom in Scotland, a kingdom inside Scotland, and they were calling themselves the Kingdom of Kubala. Let me tell you, the Scottish people, they were scared of this. They thought that history might repeat themselves, but that more people, more black people might start doing this. So they went to that area and they evicted them. In that kingdom, there is a king, there is a queen, there is also a princess. They also have a whole kingdom full of people. They have their own culture, and Scottish people, they were not happy with this because they thought that more black people might start doing this and maybe take over Scotland. But the king was not happy about this because he was asking, I'm a black British, so I can live wherever I want in Scotland. If I want to live in a different community in my own land, I can live as long as my own land. Why would you evict me? So they moved to a different location in the mountain. They said that they were told by God to go in that place, that place was given to them by God, but now the Scottish government has evicted them. They told them to leave, and this is not good at all. Oh my God.
Stop. There's some black people who have gone to the Scottish countryside and they've created something called the Kingdom of Kubala. And they're dressed in like regal blankets and they're walking around calling it the Kingdom of Kubala. I don't know whether this is a joke or not, but this is some black people who are in this place they're calling the Kingdom of Kubala, and and so they're saying that the police have come to evict them from the Kingdom of Kubala. Like, just when you thought that the world was so bleak, then somebody comes up with something. So these black people, their faces are covered in ash. They're wearing like old blankets and they're calling it the Kingdom of Kubala.
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. In case you're new here, my name is Maren.
And I'm Maureen.
Right. So guys, it's only recently that black people in Scotland created an internet frenzy, yeah? And we're not over that yet. I don't know how many of you have heard about the Kingdom of Kabbalah in Scotland. And before I explain what this is, allow me to just take you back in America, where there was a story that was going viral of white people moving to the Ozark Mountains in Arkansas to create a white-only community. Yeah, to which even a white person from TikTok asked, why don't black people create their own community? We see if they will be successful or not. To which the black community replied to this man saying that black people have been trying to create their own community, but the system or white people will never allow them to have it. That being said, guys, I think you already have an idea about what the Kingdom of Kabbalah is all about. We don't want to talk a lot. Right. You do have an idea of what the Kingdom of Kabbalah is about, and this is a kingdom of black people in Scotland. Right. But or in today's episode, we are asking, is the Lulu really the Solulu for today's episode? Right. So guys, if you think this episode is valid, and if you think that, because these were black Scottish people, but I have to mention that because of their accents, I've had black Scottish speaking, and these people speaking, guys, I don't know, I'll leave you to be the judge. Their accent is a bit confusing. It's like a sheep in wolf's clothing. But guys, you let us know what you think about this episode, yeah? Right. But basically, they were trying to build a black community, a kingdom, which sounds like a good idea, but is it really plausible? Let's listen and watch what we've prepared, and then we come back and talk about it. At the same time, let us know what you think about this episode, right? Consider subscribing if it's your first time here. Let's watch.
This is the prophetess of Atihin, the queen of the northern kingdom, Mary Tama. I am the mother of Shaka, whom you can see here. My children were kidnapped by Durham County Council 1.5 years ago. Today I'm standing here at the Culloden battlefield in the Scottish Highlands, where the Jacobites were massacred by the Edomites 400 years ago. This is a very, very historical place, and we are here to do our rituals, and we have returned to the place we used to own. Everything that happened here 400 years ago is connected to what has happened today, my children going into captivity. My children are going to return back to their borders. There is a saying in Shona which says, Chisinga pere chino shura. If you think that what happened here in Scotland, in the Highlands, 400 years ago, is just going to disappear into thin air, you didn't know what's coming. If you think I'm just a nobody whom you took your children from, you don't know what's coming. There is a reason why you have to put a signpost that this is the battlefield where the Jacobites were slaughtered, deported from this country and defeated. There's a reason why every single year people come to visit this place. There's a reason why today they make money out of this place. Because of the history. It is the blood of the Jacobites which keeps this country going, which keeps this country being United Kingdom. And until the truth is out, the Jacobites who died here will not rest.
So many people ask, what is Kubala? What do you do in Kubala? This is life in Kubala. We bathe in the stream, and then we come and walk the horses. Life in Kubala is all about connecting with our Creator, using our creativity and His nature, His creations. And we eat natural foods, and we do not have to depend on the system to live, to eat. Yes, some of us will come from America, some of us will come from Ghana, from the Caribbean, from Jamaica, but this is our native land. So we've reunited to inhabit this holy land and be right in the presence of our God, Yehovah. Kubala Kubala Iliswe.
Yeah, okay. That's not recording.
Okay.
So this is the 30th of July 2025. You can see the police is here. The council is here. People from the court are here. We have been dwelling here and they have come. This is what they've been doing for the last months we've been here. And now the police are here and they are speaking, as you can see. My Lord, our God. Oh, I just love this God of Kubala.
What is the shame?
This is Esau. And they want to evict us from the ground. They want to evict us from the earth. Literally, the ground. Their blood is still crying from the ground. You might think it's just a tourist attraction, but it's not. This is the ancestors of black people. Jamaicans. The people who were sent to the Americas. The people who were sent to the Caribbean. These are your ancestors. Wake up. Until Chaka returns to his borders, none shall see. It's your prophetess Mary Tama, the Queen of the North. We are here in the Scottish Highlands at the actual battlefield where black people known as the Jacobites were defeated 400 years ago. We are not going to listen to stories only from one side. It's time for the world to know the truth. That the blood of our ancestors, the blood of black people, is on this ground. The true Jacobites were black people. They have always been black people. Black people were in the Scottish Highlands 400 years ago. Those were the black Hebrew Israelites. They were deported, some to the Caribbean, some were deported to the Americas, some were deported to Guyana. These people have been in exile for 400 years. This is why we have come here to this very historical place. They continue to tell history from one side. How can history be told by your enemy? How can history be told by the people who defeated you? How can they say respect this place when they are the ones who defeated you? Who were the people who were killed here? Were they? The time is here for history, true history to be spoken. And I am the prophetess, and I'm telling the truth from this place. As you can see here, there is a little bit of the lies they keep on telling about who the true Jacobites were. But as you can see here, the Duke of Cumberland came here in 1746. This is the time that they stole the painting. The painting they lied that was destroyed, which they took to the northwest of England. The truth is that we are here to unravel this truth. The true Jacobites were black people. The Duke of Cumberland came here, stole a painting and took it to Blackwell Grange. And my Lord husband, Atihen, the King of the North, knows where that painting is. I had a visitation and a vision of a black man, the ghost of Blackwell Grange, which is in Darlington, in England, where after he came here, the Duke of Cumberland, he stayed on his way here to defeat the Jacobites. He passed by Blackwell Grange. On his way back, he took the painting he stole from this place, a painting of a black woman, whom they lied that she was an Edomite. The truth is coming out, and we are going to reveal everything. We shall leave no stone unturned. I am your prophetess.
The kingdom of Kubala cannot be destroyed. The shame of Esau. Come, let's not
Come off not.
Yes, this is bizarre. We've been evicted
Take a
from
picture
the
of it.
earth. We've been evicted from the earth. They've dealt us. They've served us our eviction notice from the wild.
From the earth.
I'm sure. A picture of them standing under the
show
tree.
them.
Show them.
They are now hiding under the
They're
tree
hiding
there.
right there.
They hide because of the shame of of what they're doing.
Now, my people, you have seen what the kingdom of Kubala goes through in the hands of strangers who have come to take even our own land.
Yes.
We cannot dwell on a mountain
In a tent.
in a tent. They are here. But the kingdom of Kubala cannot be destroyed. And we shall win. Kubala,
The
Kubala.
irony.
Ellis,
You
where?
know what the irony is, my lord? These people, they took my home. I was in a home in Stockton. We had properties in Newcastle. In Seaham, where the children were abducted, we had a house. Now we are in a tent after they threw me in prison without any evidence. This is Britain. They threw me and my husband in prison, chased my daughter out of her flat, her home, took her dog, took my beds, took my furniture, everything I have, until a tent was donated to us. Sleeping in the streets of Newcastle. Now we are in the wild. They are coming to say, get out. We are taking you to court. We are evicting you from the land, from the earth. When this country, you've got the right to live in the wild. But for the first time in Scottish history, we are being evicted from the ground.
When they talk about squatters' rights,
The
when
right
they
to
talk
roam.
about right to roam. Now,
For the first
eviction of a
time,
tent.
we are being evicted from a tent. We are being evicted from the earth. You can't make it up, can you, my lord?
Kubala, Kubala.
Ellis, where?
Nobody can stop Kubala. Nobody can stop Kubala. Nobody can stop Kubala. Kubala is strong. Nobody can stop Kubala. Nobody can stop Kubala. Nobody can stop Kubala. Kubala is strong.
Kubala, Kubala.
Ellis, where?
So guys, welcome back. Let us know what you think about the videos we just played you. Yeah, I feel like this episode, to be honest, was genuinely fun, and it was why do I feel like I was getting some Delulu vibes from this episode?
Guys, let us explain one thing, right? So, in South Africa, this is how we ended up with not only Orania, but Clemfontein, which is a white-only person's settlement in a predominantly black community.
It started with one Delulu man, right?
Right? And also, this is how we ended up with the Ozark Mountains and the whites-only community, which this white man apparently right now he is going to all the podcasts to explain why his community deserves to be whiteified alone, right? And these ones, so my biggest question is whoever started Orania, of course, they snatched up the land, but the law was on their side and policies were on their side. And the whites only town in America, the Ozarks, also the system is on their side. For this black Scottish man, I don't know if his true roots are in Scotland, but for this black Scottish man, in this Scottish land, the rules are, for right now, they're working for the Scottish people, right?
Right.
And for you to go to a public land and just decide to take up space, personally, I do feel like if he really truly wanted to start a kingdom, the first step would be to just to take a safe measure that nobody would ever dispute your kingdom.
Right.
Legally buy up the land you're going to occupy. Like take 2 to 3 to 160 acres, the way the Ozarks did. I don't know who is financing the Ozark Mountain people, right? But this one, he acted without thinking in that regard. I wish he could have bought up land for him to go and start calling people into the kingdom.
Right.
And then the second thing I noticed with this king, I don't know how many of you have watched that far to see the king. Presentation matters a lot.
Yeah.
Personally, I wouldn't follow someone who looks like this, and I'm not demeaning his way of dressing, but how many of you guys have seen Nigerian movies and how they portray how a king should dress, their kingship?
Yeah.
It doesn't always have to look poor and like, I don't know.
Not poor, but it doesn't have to look
tattered and raggedy. Nigerians know how to pull a kingsman look. Some communities in Africa, I wish they could have considered all these aspects before they start going to a land and calling followers to follow them, because I do understand their cause and I do understand what it could amount to should it be successful.
Right, but at the end of the day, human beings are still human beings, and the human eye, the first thing the human eye sees, the human eye judges, and the first thing the human ear hears, the human ear will judge. You understand? So if you want your message to be accepted, look at this that white only community, the Ozark, right? Why didn't that white man come with a funny attire? Okay, forgive me guys, I know to some people it might feel but there's a way he chose to address. Presentation matters. If he wanted to look more native or whatever, they have the Viking culture.
And also this for this Scottish man, I feel like what I'm emphasizing on, guys, there's a lot of preferences or references, not preferences, references he could have looked at for him to know how a king should. A king should have aura.
And then if you want to be heard, you have to think about the packaging, because guys, just speaking the truth, right? You have an international ear. You have that news channel that heard about you. Even
they
these
came
channels
to cover you.
They love drama, right?
Right.
If you want to some point.
And also, before you continue that point, because I heard there is one young lady here, I think she had an American accent. She was also calling for black people from all over the world, Jamaica, America, which is a good thing, but also what we're saying is, I wish the execution was a bit better. Just protocol, buying the land and then looking for how you're gonna represent your kingdom.
Your message, because guys, remember we are living in a world where right now we have a lot of judgments going on. There's a lot of false prophecy, and then someone comes looking the way they are looking and says, God told me this and that, So you have to package your message a little better, just like the white man does. What I'm saying is, in this day and age or ever, there was never a time where black people were allowed to have anything. Let's begin from that.
Because a good example, even with the Ozarks, no authorities went up to that mountain to tell them whatever you're doing, it's cancelled. You know, when Clemfontaine came up and Orania came up, the authorities have never gone there to tell them, because Orania is in South Africa, for those who don't know, right? Even Clemfontaine, and it is a white-only place, town, whatever. And in Orania, they even have their own currency that they are using. They have their
South
Africa, they have their own flag, which is a Dutch flag they are using. You know, so they say it is a way to preserve their culture, and I really wish, because these people, they made it easy for these white people, the Scots, to go and evict them from there, which they really acted fast, because as it said in the clip, the Scots were afraid that if these ones were successful, more black people would be encouraged to move there,
and eventually they would lose their land to
these kind of people
communities.
And also other black communities would start their other black kingdoms, and that is what they didn't want.
And guys, you know how funny it is that for white people, they can get to do this, they can get to migrate with their culture, they can get to set up systems while still, you know, like nothing happens to them. So we have to think on a deeper level, yeah? Why is it that they can be able to move, create their own currency, preserve their own culture, when even after slavery, black Americans were never allowed, they were stripped of their culture, they were stripped of their
language, their names.
They were stripped of, like, literally anything that made them have an origin was stripped away, right? But in America, let's say a black community comes forward and says, look, we are going to create our own Ozark-like community where white people are not allowed, where this and that are not allowed, lay out the same rules like the Ozark people did, right?
Yeah, if they are successful, they will be under constant surveillance by the powers that be, or whatever is in charge.
This group is, you know, notoriously, they're breeding sleeping cells for X and X. You know, there's always gonna be something a story that's always gonna be excusable to excuse the police to come and raid your community, right? But the white people, they're existing even in South Africa, living in harmony, creating
even
their
here
own
in
systems.
Kenya, there's a place in Karen where only white people can go. There is a place in Laikipia where
only white
people own 60% of that land. In Kenya, there's a place called Laikipia. It's a county, right? And Laikipia, 60%, if not 70% of the land is owned by a few white people, and Kenyans who live there, they move under restrictions, right? And when you go to somewhere in Scotland, these are the kind of things black people can never do. And the first one who tried to do, I wish he could have done it calculatively. You know, they shouldn't just have gotten an idea and jumped on it.
Like, I feel like, guys, people need a strong leader. People need a leader that knows what they're talking about. Just have structure and move in a way that even when white people want to antagonize you, you've garnered you look like you're talking sense. You don't look like you're delulu. You don't look like you're a fraud. You don't, you know, because I feel like for black people it's that much harder, because first of all, you're fighting against
10 times better.
You have to be 10 times better. You're fighting against a system that already has branded you a certain type of way. So you imagine white people in Scotland looking at you manifesting, giving your manifestations and saying that God told me black people, we need to come and you know, you're dressed a certain way and you're saying we only want black people. You know, they're not gonna like receive that
seriously.
Already
it
doesn't
matter, but what matters is, will the black community take you seriously? And will they follow you? This is why I wish he could have even researched on what is it called? Royal attires. What kind of things, you know, but African attires also. But if he doesn't want to be affiliated with the Africans, he should have just looked for royal black. No, as in I'm saying,
for example,
if he doesn't, he should have looked for royal attires amongst any black community. I'm sure he could have found something better than what he's wearing right now, you know.
Yeah. Okay, you know, guys, do you know why religious cults thrive? Because you're selling a dream to people, right? If you look at the psychology of how these cult-like groups normally come up, because I do believe even in the Mormon community, for you to manage to convince people from the same family to marry, for you to be able to convince grown people to follow you blindly and tell them this is not good for you, you're telling grown people it's not good for you, it's good for you. There's some certain type of packaging you've done, and there's a certain type of dream you're selling to these people that in the real, like, people are running away from things, you know, in the real world,
of which this dream that this guy is selling is 100% beautiful, but the problem is the packaging and execution is what we are saying, right?
But guys, I don't know what you can say about this episode. Personally, I feel like we can always try again, right? This time it didn't work, yeah, but next time I do believe there's always
by buying land, man.
There's always a genius being born every day, right? By a genius being born, I don't mean a toddler. I mean, like, you can wake up and get that
bright idea
and then you execute it. So we are not giving up hope, but for today's, we are saying this, is it a flop or not?
Let us know in the comment section. And also, if there are any Scots here, let us know what you think about the Kingdom of Kabbalah.
I actually want to hear from the Black Scottish, because we did an episode about Black Scottish people, and I heard the accent. It was quite deep. They had to speak
Scottish, but these ones,
I feel like they're kind of a bit, there's a foreigner in them.
Yeah, there's a foreigner. The accent is mixed with something, which is not a problem. So long as they have citizenship there, it's not a problem. But if you want fellowship and whatever,
I have a problem with that. If indeed they're not 100% Scottish and they're claiming to be, and they're bringing all these people up, they want to do this and that, I feel like they should make it clear, because it's not fair. They represent the whole Black Scottish community, because if it was a Black Scottish community doing this, I feel like I would have understood, because you claim to be Scottish and you want a piece of Scotland and this and that, it's okay. But if it's a foreigner coming to masquerade as Scottish, then that's a problem, because they're representing the whole Black community.
I do feel like that is where I disagree with you a little bit, because for them to be in Scotland, it means they have a certain level of legal citizenship. I don't know if they're
That's not what I mean. It's like saying, I'm sorry, you're going to continue. Just allow me to say this. It's like saying, you know how there's Black Americans, African Americans, and when I say African Americans,
and then there is African immigrant Americans.
Exactly, that is what I mean. It's like an African immigrant going to America and then starting to say, you know, because I'm an African American, and they're not making that distinction, because there's also Black Americans who identify as African Americans. That is where the confusion comes in, and then you end up being boxed in one category. And then when they do something stupid out there, it's not that African immigrants who migrated into your country are doing this, it's the Black community who are doing this and that. Does that make sense to you?
I mean, yeah, but also I do feel like because they're Black.
No,
wait, you're making me feel bad. Like, what I'm saying is the agenda they were trying to come up with for the Black community. I do see where they're coming from and what they were trying to do, because it's been done in South Africa by whites, it's been done in America by whites, you know. But still, what I'm saying is, I see the vision of what they were trying to do, but I don't support how they went about it. Is what I'm trying to say. Yes,
believe me, guys, I'm not against it. I'm also for, but you know, I'm saying some things need
decorum.
Not even that, plus a certain level of thinking capacity, because for a white man to even get to a level where they're getting on international news and they're representing their fellow white men, they have to make sure that by the time they step on a podium to talk for every white person, they have to make sure that when they talk, the rest of the white people are rallying behind them, meaning the packaging. Again, we come back to that.
I think it's the same thing I'm trying to say. I see the vision, but the structuring was completely wrong and how they went about
it, right? Black
How
Americans,
can you go and just occupy a public land and say, now this is my kingdom?
Right, Ozark, did they do the same with Ozark? Black Americans, let us know, because I want to also ask you, our audience, something, right? Black Americans, Canadians, Caribbeans, Black Caribbeans, Black
Europeans
Scottish,
from everywhere.
Everybody Black, right? One question I want to ask is, there's no easy way of asking this question, but let me just ask you, would you like such representation?
Again, we come back to structure and execution.
But let me know in the comment section, because personally,
if it was a black person who had structured themselves well and looked up the
bad,
entirety of running a kingdom, how they're gonna execute their plan, bought how many acres of land they'd have bought to make the plan work. I think that is a person people would rally behind because there is structure there. But with these ones, I do see their visions, but they didn't have structure, or they just didn't have structure in general. They just, it feels like they woke up and
weren't planned,
thought about it and just jumped into it. They didn't plan,
and that's what happens when you don't think about the move you want to make for the next 10 years.
They were uprooted before they could root those roots.
Right,
so, guys, let us know what you think about this episode. Also consider subscribing if you're new to our channel, and we'll see you on our next episode.
Before we go, just a last final dose to give you.
Okay.
Can I just talk about the sister who was talking with the horse in the background, and then the horse kept on moving and she kept on following the horse? If you watch the video you got there, that is what Maureen and I were laughing. The horse was like, I want no part of this, But guys, we'll catch you on our next episode. Let us know if you had fun in this one.
Even the horse was demanding for a little structure. But anyway, guys, let us know what you think about this episode. We love our black community. We do. But we are saying, when some of us get up with an idea, please also consider structure.
Remember, you're representing all of us.
Yeah, consider execution, man. Because
bye.